Welcome back. Our next guests have a beautiful story and are the perfect examples of community empowerment. In the battle with addiction, a deputy, now sheriff, saw through the disease and saw a man who wanted to overcome and recover.
Yes, today we are here with Sean, CEO of Freeman Recovery Center, and Sheriff Tim Eads of Dickson County. Welcome in, guys.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yes, the backstory of Freeman Recovery is such an inspiring one. So let's just start from the beginning. Sean, and your struggles that landed you in jail as a teen.
Sure. So as a lot of us, when I was younger, I just had some natural curiosities and I don't want to say peer pressure, but I wanted to be cool, fit in, all the things. That led to me, you know, taking a drink here and there when other people were doing it, just because, like I said, I wanted to fit in, and then on to marijuana. And, you know, I remember the first time I got high, I said, oh, I'll never do this again, you know, and then turns out I did. I was in another situation where I wanted to fit in, and so I did. I smoked the marijuana again, and then this time I didn't smoke too much that I wasn't able to function. I actually enjoyed it, and I thought, okay, I can manage this, and I was wrong about that. So at that point, I started smoking marijuana more regularly and drinking more regularly, and just led to behavioral issues in school and skipping school, and then I wound up getting in trouble with the courts and simple possession of marijuana as a juvenile, and that just continued on into my adult life. So just some more of the same, and that's how I ended up meeting Tim, you know.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your story, because you're not the only one out there, and I know there's someone listening who is being touched by this story. But yeah, that is where you met now, Sheriff. But at the time you were working at the jail, so explain.
I was in charge of the jail. I was captain over the jail, so I was the chief administrator, and there was an incident involving Sean. He was a trustee, so he cleaned floors, washed, worked in the kitchen, whatever trustees do, and they get good time for that. And there was a fight, and so he stood the chance to lose any good time, 2 for 1, that he made, and be taken off of that assignment, put back in general population, which is a big deal if you're trying to get your time worked off. And you know, I looked at all the evidence, and I believed him. He didn't start the fight, and so I kind of exonerated him from that, allowed him to keep his status. We'd have talks, he'd stick his head in the office, and then a little bit later on down the line, he was getting close to being released, and I went and testified in front of a juvenile judge. They still had jurisdiction. I think you were 19. They still had jurisdiction. He needed to get his driver's license reinstated. So he could start his recovery process and work during his recovery process. And so he said, well, you believed me once, maybe you'll help me again. And I did, and it worked out. And from that, the rest is history. He can speak more to that. He was able to stay in recovery, and then we kind of loosely kept touch with each other over the years. And he does great work, and like you said earlier, having been there and done that, his own personal, when he's personally counseling people, I think has a higher impact, because he's not talking theory, he's talking life.
Right, right. Well, we have less than a minute to go, and I just want to mention briefly that, you know, what started as an air mattress in the back of your parents' yard has turned into this recovery powerhouse, and you guys continue to work together today.
Correct.
Yeah, Sean's helped. We're pursuing grants. My goal as sheriff is to increase our programs so that people come out and maybe can go into recovery wherever it's at. And they start out with a leg up, and if they recover, then they're not coming back to the Dickson County Jail. And it's way less expensive to treat people than it is to, once they've done their time, then to build onto the jail. So I hope my legacy as sheriff is not to have to build a bigger jail, but actually, you know, keep our numbers low through reducing recidivism in Dixon County.
You are doing amazing work, both of you. Thank you
Yes.
so
Thank you.
Thank you guys
much.
for
I
coming in.
appreciate you.
Well, you can't change how your story started, but you can choose what happens next. If you need help, check out the facility online at freemanrecoverycenter.com.